As Ukrainians are not rolling over, they are continuing to fight back against Russians in several major cities. And Vladimir Putin is said to be growing increasingly frustrated. U.S. intelligence agencies and Alexander Vindman just told us moments ago that Putin may soon be doubling down on violence as he sees it as his only option. Let's welcome former Secretary of Homeland Security Jay Johnson, who during the Obama administration oversaw cybersecurity, counterterrorism, and federal disaster response, just to name a few. Secretary, I am so glad you're here. We need your expertise now more than ever. You've seen everything. You've done everything. So what is your assessment of what's happening in Europe right now?
First of all, Stephanie, I'm pleased to be here on the debut of your new show. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Several things. One, the Western world is united behind a single purpose, unlike anything I've seen since 9/11. Rarely are the battle lines between what is clearly good and what is clearly evil are drawn in this way. And the Western world is responding. I think the sanctions will prove to be extremely effective in putting all sorts of economic pressure on Vladimir Putin, the oligarchs, his cabinet. It'll take a while to have an effect. Now, the dark side of that coin is I believe things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I believe that civilian casualties in Ukraine are going to mount. The Ukrainians are putting up an extraordinarily brave front. They are proving that sometimes the will to fight with nothing more than a rifle or a Molotov cocktail to defend your freedom, to defend your homeland, can overcome a Russian following orders with a tank. For the Biden administration, I believe they've responded effectively. They've led this coalition, but they're going to come under intense pressure soon as civilian casualties mount from domestic political pressure, from international pressure, to intervene militarily, despite the president's pledge not to put boots on the ground there. The American impulse so often has been to put boots on the ground in some distant land to defend freedom. But lessons learned are that it is often much easier to get into a situation like this than it is to extricate yourself from one. So a lot of careful discipline and thinking is going to have to go into the next few days and weeks and months, I suspect.
Then do you think we should be taking military action now?
I do not. I believe that we should arm the Ukrainians. I believe we should press all sorts of very aggressive sanctions. I believe we should act in unison with NATO. But in the current circumstances, I would not support putting boots on the ground, American boots on the ground in Ukraine. Now, that's going to be stress tested if civilian casualties mount, if Putin starts slaughtering innocent men, women, and children in large numbers.
Is that going to happen, though? I mean, look at our intelligence. It seems like we are calling out Putin's next move hours before he takes action. It has to be hugely frustrating for him.
And he did it anyway. Correct. But you're right. Our intelligence community, I think, has been extraordinary in declassifying the intelligence with a certain speed and agility that you don't normally see, sorting through declassifying things at the risk of sources and methods, and being forward-leaning in interpreting that intelligence to really put Vladimir Putin's stuff out on the street for all the world to see. Now, the troubling thing is that he's done it anyway. I agree with the analysis of a lot of people that this is a man who is isolated. He's been president for too long, and he's becoming unhinged. And at the end of this book, I think that this chapter is going to cost Vladimir Putin his presidency ultimately, but it's going to get ugly before it's going to get better.
And we're living in dangerous times. Tomorrow night, the president will be giving his first State of the Union address. The world will be watching. Given everything you and I just covered, what does he need to say?
Well, first, special State of the Unions for me are special. 6 years ago, I happened to be the designated survivor at the State of the Union, so I had to miss it when I was Secretary of Homeland Security. I believe what we're going to hear from President Biden tomorrow night, if I know him, is first and foremost, he's going to talk about the situation in Ukraine. He's going to say that we must defend freedom. This is who we are as Americans. But he's going to talk more also about the recovery from COVID. I'm sure he's going to talk about the economy. He's going to talk about, he's very proud of his Supreme Court nominee and urge swift confirmation of her. Ukraine will be the first to be the thing that is first and foremost. He's going to remind us of our values as Americans and that we're being put to the test right now.